What's up, guys? This is why no trader, I repeat, no trader will ever get any payout from the FundingPips zero instant funding model. Yes, I have facts to back everything I'm saying on this particular video, and I've personally tested it myself together with more than 20 students in Godlove University, and I'm going to be showing you guys all the data, what we found, and the reason why I'm concluding that no trader, I repeat, no trader will ever be able to receive a payout with the FundingPips zero instant funding model. If FundingPips is watching this and they want to prove me wrong, I'll be very, very happy to learn from it. They should be able to tell us how we can be able to benefit based on the model they've put in place. And I'm going to uncover everything about the model. And even if you're watching this video and you're one trader who has actually and successfully received a payout with the FundingPips zero instant model, please let me know on the comment section. I'm going to reply to all the comments. Without taking much of your time, let's just start with the details. Let's start with the facts. Let's start with the proofs. Let's start with FundingPips. What's FundingPips? So FundingPips, when you talk about prop firms, there are big names like FTMO, like the Funded Next, and then we have FundingPips, just to name a few, right? So recently, I got complaints from students in Godlove University because you guys know I run one of the biggest and most successful Forex Academy in Godlove University. So about 8 to 10 students came to me and they complained. We had a live session. They came to complain that they bought the instant funding model with FundingPips, but they can't get their payout, even though they ended in profit. All right. Even though they ended in profit, their payout still got denied, or they ended up not getting a payout. So I was like, no, this is serious. It's not one person, it's not two people, it's not 3 traders, it's not 4. If I've gotten almost about 10 traders, let me look into this. So when I purchase accounts myself, I asked some of my traders, some of my students in Godlove University to bring their strategies. I even bought behind those strategies, simulated the strategies, and then found out and concluded that no trader can be able to get a payout with the FundingPips instant funding model. So let's go on the website of FundingPips, and I'm just going to quickly show you guys this. So on the website, you guys can see clearly here, they have maybe zero just stands for the instant funding. There's no challenge. You just buy and you start trading immediately, right? So it's called, for them, it's called zero. For some pro firms, it's called instant funding. But just those instant challenges where you don't have to trade phase 1, you don't have to trade phase 2, you just go directly and you start trading on quote live account, all right, or on the simulated live account. So that's what we're going to be looking into today, right? This one, profit target, there's no profit target because they just give you the live account immediately. Maximum loss is 5%, but please pay every stats I'm telling you guys, any statistics, right? I'm giving you guys, pay attention to that particular statistics because it's going to make sense as we go along in the video. Watch this. Maximum loss on the account is 5%, meaning you can lose more than 5% of the entire account. Minimum or maximum daily loss is 3%. Minimum trading days, meaning you must trade at least 7 days before you can request a payout on that account. And there's even another rule which is not here about payout, which is the 3% rule, meaning before you request a payout on the instant funding account, you must make at most, all right, you must make at least 3%, and I'm going forward. You must have at least 3% as a buffer. So you must first of all have 3% before you can withdraw anything after that 3%, because they want you to have that 3% as your buffer to hedge for maximum days, something like that. But you must make profit more than 3% of your account before you can even withdraw. That's just another rule, another hidden rule which is there, but it's not here. Now, 15% consistency rule. Let me explain what it means, right? I just keep maximum daily because I know you guys already understand that one. 15% maximum or 15% consistency rule is very, very simple. It states, by the time you're requesting your payout, no one trade should be more than 15% of the total amount you're requesting. It's just as easy as that. Guys, remember, I'm going to be in a better place to explain this thing in details for you guys to understand, because I've been a CEO to a prop firm and we've also worked behind these rules for traders. So I know how you guys can be able to better get educated on these rules to be able to succeed. So let's pick up our calculator, right? How is the consistency rule calculated? It's very, very simple. For you to calculate the consistency rule, you take the highest profit you make throughout your entire trade. Let's just say you traded for 10 days, right? And within that 10 days, you had maybe 500, 600, 700. You minus this, plus this. Take the highest profit. Let's just say your highest profit was $800. And then at the end of those 10 days, you were able to make, let's just say, you were able to make $3,000. So you divide your highest profit by the total amount you're requesting, which is $3,000. And then you multiply that by 100. So this is 0.26. You multiply this now by 100, you have 26%. So in this case, this payout is going to be denied. Payout is going to be denied because your consistency is 26%, which is already more than 15%. So you work around that. This is consistency rule is not our problem here, right? So long as you know how it works, you can be able to know how to fine-tune your parameters. You can be able to know how to fine-tune your risks so that you can still be able to get a payout. That's the most important thing, because the strategy I'm going to be showing you guys on this particular video and all the trades we took, we were able to still accommodate that 15% consistency rule. We didn't breach the 15% consistency rule, but there was still one hidden rule which you can't beat that rule. You can't escape from that particular rule, which is not here, but I'm going to be explaining to you guys. All right. So that's what consistency rule means. You just divide the highest profit you made by the total amount you are requesting times 100. That's consistency rule. Then let's go to leverage. Leverage is not a problem. Price. This is where the cash is. Look, if it's too good to be true, then there's probably something hidden. If it's too good to be true, remember, this is not a one-step challenge. This is not a two-step challenge. This is instant funding, meaning they're going to be giving you, in quote, the live funding as soon as you buy the account. So there is no prop firm out there, FundingPips. There's no 1 year. There's no prop firm out there that will give you a $100,000 prop firm account, which is instantly funded for $500. What's the cash? And the cash is what I'm going to be telling you guys on this particular video. There is no prop firm. Check on the internet. Most instant funding prop firms will charge you the amount which is total, which is equal to the max drawdown on that account. Meaning if Funded Next, or let's just say, meaning if FundingPips was giving us a $100,000 prop firm account and the daily drawdown is on, or the max, and the max drawdown is on 5%, it means the price, what's 5% of $100,000? $5,000. It means they were going to be charging us about $4,000 to buy that $100,000 prop firm account. That's the industrial standard. That's how it is in the industry. And then the rules I'm going to be telling you guys after this that are going to be preventing you from getting your payout, those prop firms don't put those rules. They charge you, which is equal to the max drawdown on that account, and then they allow you to trade. Because besides, you are already paying, they are not losing anything. You are already paying for the max drawdown on that account. You are already buying the trading power. That is your trading power you're buying. And then you see a prop firm, $100,000 instant funding, they're selling it for $500. It doesn't make sense. There is something hidden. You will never get a payout. You will never. I'm going to show you guys on this particular video. You will never get a payout. Because this $500, this is equal to, I think, if you're buying a $10,000 prop firm account on a normal instant funded prop firm account, $10,000 account, and they are giving you a 5% daily drawdown. I mean, 5% of $10,000 is going to be $500. Can you see that? 5% of $10,000 is going to be $500. That prop firm will sell you that $10,000 instant funded account for $500 because they are just selling you the drawdown on that account. And they allow you to trade. And there's no problem in that. If I'm buying a prop firm account, $10,000, and I'm paying $500, I will still be able to make profit on that particular. I will be able to make profit on that $10,000 account. My first payout can be $1,000, $2,000, $1,500. This. I'm not going for the sky. I will still be able to make profits on that account. So this is where the problem starts. The price being too cheap. If it's too good to be true, then it's probably a scam or there's probably something hidden behind. So I just wanted to clarify that. All right. Don't go for these too cheap firms without educating yourself on the hidden rules, without educating yourself on the model itself. Now let's get that one out of the way. Let me show you guys now a typical example. I bought 2 accounts. This is one. I had to log in incognito on Chrome because I couldn't log in on my normal Chrome browser. I don't know if they blocked my account or something, but I successfully logged in on my incognito account, and this is what I'm explaining right here. The rule which is going to be preventing you from getting a payout is called the max trailing loss. It doesn't reset, it just accumulates. It's called the max trailing loss. No matter how you go around it, I've spoken with them. I was even on the live chat on their website today because I wanted to have all my facts straight. I was on the live chat for almost an hour today talking with them. I was like, FundingPips, look, I'm a trader. I thought you guys said FundingPips is built by traders for traders. And it's rather unfortunate that most of these technical questions I'm asking on the live chat, I can't get responses. I can't get answers. The only thing I'm getting is just canned responses. We're just copy and paste canned responses, and no one could really explain to me my questions. All right, and I'm going to show you guys a screenshot what I asked them, and they couldn't explain anything to me. No one, they were just copy and paste. These are my copy and paste. No one could dissect my own screenshot I sent with the rule to tell me whether the trader would have gotten a payout or not. So this is a $5,000 instant zero. They call it zero. This is a $5,000 account I bought just to test things out, right? I already traded one with a student in Godlove University. That one was $50,000. That one ended in $52,000. The trader made $2,000. I traded it with him because I wanted to follow it up to make sure everything was correct. He followed up. He followed everything. It ended on $52,000. He made a profit of $2,000, but the payout was denied because before he even got there, maximum trailing loss was breached. This is the same thing right on my screen. I personally bought an account myself to show you guys. This is how it works. Look at this account on my screen, right? Let's just go down on calendar. On calendar, yesterday I made $10 on this account. I just wanted some stats just to show you guys personally that I personally tested it out. I made $10 on this account yesterday, and today I've lost $65. So if I have to calculate the differential from this, I've only lost $55 on this account. All right, I've only lost $55 on this account, but to your greatest surprise, look at what FundingPips is going to put here. Loss on the account is $206. Why? Because yesterday, let's just say I had a trade that I lost $50, then I went ahead and I made $100. They recorded that minus $50 as a trading loss. I traded again. Maybe there was another trade. Maybe I lost $30, and then on another one again I made maybe $60. They recorded that $30. They added that $30 to what I already lost, to the minus 50. That's minus $80. Then today, that minus $80 went on a rule over for today. Today I started trading. Let's just say I take the first trade and I make $100 profit. Then the second trade I lost maybe $80 profit. They will just take that $80 again, add to the loss from yesterday. You see, so even though yesterday I ended the day in profit, the trailing drawdown was still there. My loss was the trailing drawdown was still there. It didn't reset. This is the cash. Now, when I ask them, they say, okay, I'm just going to read the statement they said. Look at this statement right here. Look at this statement right here. Also, read this section. This section is what I want you to see, right? Also, please refer the rules clearly, as trading loss is set to 5% of the highest equity recorded and will be locked in at the initial balance once the equity is 5% in profit. Meaning, from what they are explaining here, from what I understand, because this is just a copy and paste message, there was no one there who could really explain. That's why you can even see me. I say another can and paste message. No one, you failed to understand my response using a typical live example I just showed. So what they are explaining here is, now when you keep trading on the account, anytime you make profit up to 5%, they lock in your initial balance at that point in time and they don't trade anymore. That's what they are saying. But I can assure you that account won't get to 5% in profit without you breaching the max 5% drawdown. If you are a very good trader, if you are a conservative trader, and you are a profitable trader, that account wouldn't get to 5% in profit without the loss piling up more than 5%, without the loss piling up to breach the daily, to breach the max trailing drawdown. I'm going to show you guys a typical example again, just to back that particular point, right? So let's take this screenshot out. I just wanted to explain that because that was a point they wanted to use it to back themselves to say, oh, there's a point in time where that's actually going to be resetted. So you see, even though I have a loss of this account is on $983. Even though I have a loss of about, let's just check down here. Let's check down here. Even though I have a loss of $55, my account is standing on minus $206. At the end of the day, this account is going to end the day in profit of maybe 5,100 or something. But don't be surprised. You come here and you see my trailing loss will be maybe about minus $400 because I'm still going to have losses. As a Forex trader, bro, you're going to have losses. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have losses. I've been trading for 10 years. Ask someone who has been trading even for 20 years. That person still have losses. So the highest way to tie down a trader, or the highest way to kill a trader, the best way to deny a payout from a trader is to put the max trailing loss, is to trail their losses. It's like to tell that trader, you are not supposed to have a loss. You are not supposed to even have a floating loss. That's what you are telling that trader. You are not supposed to have a loss. You need to have a 100% win rate before you ever requested a payout. Now, let me bring in the bot I built using the strategy which they refused one of my students a payout. So I even simulated it on a bot, and then I did a backtesting for the past 15 days. If I go here, this was actually backtesting for the past 15 days. We actually took, these are trades which were taken in real life, a total of 113 trades. The net profit, look at the net profit on this account was $11,000. And let me shock you, before we go to this particular screenshot, these are some of the rules which I want you guys to take into consideration, right? Let me just show you guys this. These are some of the rules I want you guys to. So before we even go far, these are some of the rules which you won't see on the front page of the website, but they are there. So it says maximum 1% floating drawdown. And we didn't violate any of these rules. Remember, we understand the rules, we understand these things, so we can still be able to, as a good trader will always be a good trader, bro. You can't kill a good trader. A profitable trader will always be a profitable trader. So no matter the rules, we understood the rules and we understood how to maneuver our parameters and our strategy around those rules. Look at one other rule here. This is when you actually trading. This was sent to me immediately. The trading account was enabled. So they said, okay, take time to read some other rules. These were some other rules that were sent that you won't see on the front end of the website. Maximum 1% floating drawdown. This one is just simple. Your floating profit and loss must not exceed 1% of your account size at any time. Violating the 1% rule will lead to immediate termination of the account, something like that. So it's simple. They're just telling you at any point in time, your floating loss or floating profit should not be more than 1% of your account. So in our case, with our $100,000 profit account, at any point in time, our floating profit should not be more than $1,000, or our floating loss should not be more than minus $1,000. It's as easy as that. If you violate this at any point in time, you're going to lose the account. I don't have a problem. We're going to still maneuver around that. We're going to risk even maybe 0.2% of our account just to go for maybe 0.5% for a risk to reward of 1:2. So we are still going to be around those parameters, right? Number 2, maximum single position loss. We recommend not risking more than 1% per trade or trade idea. Keep in mind that losing more than 3% per trade idea is an automatic hard breach account. It's simple. So this one is just saying don't risk more than 1% per trade. So not more than 1% per trade, and your floating profit or loss is not supposed to be more than 1%. We know that. So let's go back to our strategy. This is the ideal strategy. Let's go back to our strategy. What was the risk on this particular trade? This person was risking 480. This person was risking 0.45% per trade. not even up to 0.5%. This person was, or this strategy, we were risking 0.45%, $450 to go for $900. Meaning we're risking 0.45% on each trade to go for 0.9%. So that at the end of the day, none of our trade should be up to 1% of the account. None of our floating profit should be up to 1% of the account, so that we don't violate that rule. And then we didn't also want to violate the 1% risk per trade. We wanted something. That's why we're even going for 0.45. That's why look at here. The average trade is 400. The average loss is minus 400 and this. Minus $484. That is it right there, because we are risking 4.5% per trade. And then our profit is what? Largest profit is 969, because there might be slippage. So instead of the 0.9% you are targeting, it will go maybe above 900 a little bit, but it still doesn't go above 1%. It still doesn't go above 1,000. If you check here, there's no trade that was either plus or minus 1,000. Look, largest trade was what? Our largest trade was $969, not up to $1,000. Our largest loss was what? $719, not also up to $1,000. So you can see we didn't breach any of these rules. We didn't breach the floating profit, and we didn't also breach the 1% rule per trade. Just wanted to make that very clear. Okay, let's go back to our strategy, and then we calculate our consistency to confirm. Let's calculate our consistency. Consistency is simple. You take the highest trade, you divide by the total amount you are requesting times 100. That's the consistency rule. And according to FundingPips, their consistency rule on the master account is 15%. So our largest trade, what was our largest trade? 969. So 969 divided by what were we requesting? $11,000. 11,048. What's that? 0.087. They will multiply that by 100. 8.7. This is a dope strategy. A dope. Look at consistency on that account. The consistency on the account was 8.7. 8.7 consistency on that account. Not even up to 10%. Not even up to the 15% limit, which FundingPips has said your consistency shouldn't be more than 15%. So every rule they had on their website has been violated, and there was no day that we were even risking 2% per day. Where it doesn't go our way and we lost 2% for that day, we're going to stop. All right? There's no day we lose more than 2% of our account, and we didn't lose at any point in time the maximum drawdown of 5%. Every rule on our book, every rule is ticked. But now this is the one that made them to deny our payout, which is something that should never be there. This is the one that made them to refuse our payout. Let's come here, go on what, check this one. Gross profit, $43,000. That was the gross profit. But gross loss was minus $32,000. This is normal for any strategy. Look at my recovery factor. Look at my profit factor, 1.34, one of the best. Look at the profit factor. And also a recovery factor 2.24. Meaning here, since our gross loss was $32,000, what is $32,000 of $100,000? $32,000 is almost about $33,000. All right, it's almost about 32%. It's almost about 32%, which is already more than the 5% max drawdown they gave. Remember, trailing means they were accumulating. They accumulate all these losses. Then they don't reset, your daily drawdown is not resetted, your max drawdown, they just keep accumulating, they just pie. It's like they just pie all your losses. They just pie all your losses. There's no way they reset it. All right. Meaning this $32,000 is about 32% of $100,000. Which this 32% of $100,000 is already more than the 5% daily drawdown they gave us. So that's why this payout is going to be refused. That's why they refuse. Most of all the students in Godlove University who have complained, their payouts have been refused, and that's why you're not going to be able to get a payout with the zero model. I don't have a problem with I don't have any issue with FundingPips. I just have an issue with the zero model, which most of my students have complained, and I wanted to personally look into this. All right, I wanted to pay, though they have that 5%, to say, okay, once you get to 5% in profit, but before you get to 5% in profit, I can tell you 100% of the time, the piling, the trailing loss must have already exceeded that 5%. As a trader, you're going to have losses, you're going to have losses, and you're going to have winners. As a trader, you're going to lose some of your trade, you're going to win some of your trade. So they shouldn't penalize you for those losers. They should allow, you need to give yourself a room for failure. You can't be penalized for those losers so long as you're still a profitable trader, you know how to manage your risks, you know how to manage your money. So if you are watching this video and you've actually received a payout with, remember, I'm not talking, I have friends, I have colleagues, I'm even planning on maybe trading with FundingPips, 2 steps, my steps, 1 step. I'm planning to trade with their different models myself. I've even recommended it to students in my academy. But my problem is just the zero or the instant model. Put the price at $4,000 on a 100K profit market. I'll personally buy it for $4,000 or even for $5,000 because your max drawdown is 5%. Put it on $5,000. I'll personally buy it for $5,000 and then remove the trailing drawdown. Remove the trailing drawdown, and you see, I would have made money. I would have buy it for $5,000 and make $10,000 on that account. And this is just the first payout. Meaning the second payout, maybe I would have still made $5,000, $6,000. I would have still keep this account for as long as I want, because this is a strategy which is super consistent and super profitable. So FundingPips, that's what you're supposed to do, not putting the price so cheap with the cash that is going to prevent all traders from ever getting a payout from that particular model. So let me know your thoughts on the comment section, guys. Like I said, I don't have any issue with FundingPips. I have friends that are trading with FundingPips with their different models, like the 2-step, the 1-step. They are getting payout, they are doing great, but there are people who prefer instant funding. If they can do something about this model and not put the price so ridiculously low with that particular cash, with that particular trap behind, I'll be totally fine. All right. So let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Share this video with someone, and I hope it gets to FundingPips themselves. And if they can address this particular video, if they want to get to me personally, I'm always open for any discussion. I'm always open for any suggestions. I'm sure most of you guys saw me FundingPips, you saw me on your live chat. I even gave you guys a lot of tips on how you could do these things. But like I said, let me know if you're a trader who has gotten a payout. Let me know a payout with a zero model. Let me know in the comment section. And even if you have anything to share, let me know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts. Did we go too far, or is it a senseless argument? Is it something that doesn't make sense to you? Or let me know on the comment section. Check out Godlove University so that you can be able to mingle with other students. You can see most of these complaints are coming from students in Godlove University because they are profitable. If you're not profitable, 80% of you guys wouldn't find this video too useful because you haven't gotten to that profitability level. When you get to the profitability level, these are the kind of videos that are going to be very super useful to you to enable that you can make a payout or profit at the end of the day. So let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Join Godlove University. Check the link on the video description. Check out Forex Pro, which is one of the bots similar and as profitable to one which I just showed you guys here. And you can use it on your Profirm accounts. You can use it even on FundingPips themselves because it doesn't have any illegal trading strategies like Martingale, tick trading, hedging, high frequency. It doesn't have any of that. Check out Forex Pro in the video description. Join my free Telegram. And as always, see you guys on these other videos. Peace.